Hey folks, welcome to my 3 thoughts for October 10th, 2024. My first topic I want to discuss is the difference between the word corrupted and corruptible. Just to make sure we're on the same page, let's start with the basic definitions of each word. Corrupt is both an adverb and a verb that means, quote, having or showing a willingness to act dishonestly in return for money or personal gain, end quote. Whereas corruptible is an adjective that means, quote, able to be made to do something dishonest or immoral, end quote. So far nothing exciting, but there is an important difference. To prove that something is corrupt is very difficult, where proving something is able to be corrupted is far easier. If collectively, we as a society decide that a system or function of government is corruptible, then there is no need to wait before we address said system or function. People that argue that we should keep a system or function of government that has been demonstrated to be corruptible because it is yet to be proven exploited usually have a vested interest in preserving the system in place. So to make it more concrete, let's say we're discussing policing. It is more important on the societal level to ask if a process or procedure is corruptible than to ask if Officer X is corrupt. This is not to say that detecting individual level corruption is not important. But from the perspective of system repair, it is less important than identifying the structural issues that lead to or allow the corruption to occur. Also from the perspective of time consumed, look at the amount of time and resources we have put towards understanding the John Fitzgerald Kennedy assassination. In comparison to the amount of time we've spent identifying the structural issues, rules and procedures that could have led to this. Hell, it's 2024 and the CIA is still not sure if letting a gunman walk on top of an unmanned roof in front of the president and taking some shots is a good idea or not. Now, I'm not suggesting that we don't spend time figuring out what actually occurred, but we damn sure should spend an equal amount of time figuring out what exactly in our processes and procedures need to be addressed so that we can improve. Right now, the collective response from our government seems to be, it was a lone crazy shooter, and I guess there was nothing we could do. God bless Ukraine. My second topic for today is a lighthearted one. Looking at the dying back black-eyed seasons in my yard, it's funny how most of what we think about when we think about a flower is nothing more than their disposable penises. And for the pedantic part of the crowd, yes, we could have referred to them as disposable vaginas, if that makes you feel better. Anyway, that's just something for you to suck on today. My last thought for the day is about insects and the difficulty in telling complex stories. Last year, William Alstetter reported in the Colorado Sun that the insect population in Colorado has declined over 60% during the last 35 years. I think this article is a good article to discuss because the fact that insects are in decline is important, and secondly because it shows how articles don't really do justice for complex issues. For those that haven't read this article, I've linked it below. I remember as a kid growing up in New Jersey seeing fireflies regularly. After a while, I don't remember seeing them at all. So I do think the problem is at least somewhat a real issue, and in my mind is sort of a low-hanging fruit for us as a society. The subtitle of the article attributes it to less snow, warmer temperatures, and less rainfall. This is honestly the frustrating part about the new religion of science with a capital S. Here we have a good and interesting finding that insect populations are down over 60% during the last 35 years, and they take the hard part, why exactly are they down so drastically, and reduce it to a simple corporate-approved message. They are gone because of less water and higher temperatures. This is claimed because of a correlation with declining rainfall and rising temperatures. And now we are into pop science. I know it's annoying to a part of the internet, but a correlation does not imply causality, full stop. It is in essence a promising lead to investigate causality. And yes, causality is very difficult to prove, which is why often it's just implied via correlation. Let's take 2 more correlations that could suggest that the article doesn't. We could correlate the fact that insects in Colorado are in decline with an increased usage of pesticide over the last 35 years. I could also correlate the decline with an increased consumption of ultra-processed foods. In one case, the correlation with increased pesticide, there may be some level of causality for the decline in insects. And my other proposed correlation, there's almost zero chance that there isn't a cause of, there's almost zero chance that this is the cause of the insect decline. And just to be clear here, I did not check if either of my two examples are actually true or not. Here I'm just using them as examples, though I do assume that they are both likely true. Nor am I saying that a loss of water wouldn't lead to a loss of insects. I wouldn't expect the loss to be uniform across species though, as you would expect certain species to be more drought tolerant than others. I don't think there exists a model for this, but I would love to see if we were able to correlate accurately rainfall amount in an area to insect population density. It would be even better if we could do it at a species level. The rising temperature argument as a limiting factor I am more skeptical of. If we haven't made the planet yet too warm for Homo stupidus, then it isn't likely that insects have been pushed out due to warmth. Another thing people often forget is that evolution, as I understand it, happens during sex, where the genes of the parents are exchanged and occasionally mutate. As a consequence of this fact, is that species with shorter lifespans evolve, and more importantly in this context, adapt faster than creatures with longer lifespans. This suggests that insects would handle the changing conditions better than mammals as a general rule. I do think that pesticides and general habitat loss may be factors in the decline, but really, I don't even know how true that is. As a final point on this article, I want to say that I don't think it's being deceptive, even if I don't like how correlations are being used, and overall think it's a very good article. As a general rule, I will only discuss content that I think is good or that I enjoy, even if I am being critical like I am in this case. How about you folks? Is there a loss of insects in Colorado? Is the loss of insects in Colorado real? Are you losing insects where you live? If you are, is there anything you can do about it? Well, that's my 3 thoughts for today. Until next time, may all your bagels have a hard crust and a chewy center. Peace.